They just flipped on the stimulus package once again. Let's get into it and talk about what Congress is up to now. But really quickly, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, or if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates as they're being released. Thank you, I really do appreciate it. And let's get into it and talk about what Congress has up their sleeve these days. Alright, so it was just indicated out of leaders of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives that it is likely they'll be bringing both of these packages that they currently have on the table right now to the floor for some final votes on Tuesday. So a matter of just a few days from now, we could be looking at the final votes according to these leaders of the Democratic Party. Now remember, they do actually have these two packages that they're currently working on. The infrastructure bill, which is the $1.2 trillion bill that was actually passed through the Senate about 2 months ago. That one they still need to pass through the House and then send it on to the president for the signature to get it into law. Now the other one is the $1.75 trillion reconciliation bill that was actually unveiled by the president just a few days ago as he met with Congress and he met with the Democratic caucus to actually unveil the official framework of this bill, and then shortly thereafter they got the official text of that bill. So it looks like, according to these leaders, that they may be bringing all of this to the floor for simultaneous votes right away on Tuesday. Wow, that was kind of fast. However, there's more to it. So let's also talk about what else they've got cooking, because they have more than just that going on. So it was also indicated that there is a high likelihood that tomorrow they'll be unveiling a bigger version of the $1.75 trillion reconciliation bill. So remember, just a few days ago, the president came out and unveiled this $1.75 trillion reconciliation bill. And shortly thereafter, well, it was a few hours later in the afternoon, people in Congress got the text of the bill. Well, a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads afterwards saying, I don't even know what this is anymore. This is not even close to what we originally discussed. This doesn't have anywhere near the parameters that we're looking for in it. It doesn't have anywhere near the type of, the amount of stimulus and different social programs and relief in there for the American people. So a lot of people in Congress were kind of hanging out saying, I don't even know what this is anymore. It's $1.75 trillion, but it doesn't encompass nearly anything that we've actually wanted. If you watched my video from yesterday, I talked through that, how a lot of these lawmakers are coming together right now saying, we've got to do something about this, because this is not even what we were kind of working on. We've been working for months and months on this reconciliation bill, and here we've got the framework from the president, and it's nowhere close to what we actually want. So a lot of these lawmakers were basically coming back saying this program or this bill needs to get some major reform before we can actually support this thing. Well, according to what these leaders are saying now in this recent update, this recent release out of Democratic leaders, they are saying it is highly likely that a bigger bill that has some revisions to it will be released tomorrow. So I wonder what they put in it, but either way, apparently they've been working on this thing, and they're going to be adding some things into it because the $1.75 trillion does not encompass nearly enough for the American people, as they've been saying over the last couple of days here. So I'm interested to see what the text is going to come up with tomorrow, and what the final price tag on this thing is going to be. I mean, ultimately, yes, okay, we got to watch the price tag because a lot of people are concerned about that, but at the same time, we got to really focus on what is this program and what is this bill actually going to include, right? I think at the end of the day, that's probably be the most important part, which is what's actually in this thing, what is going to be in it for the people, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this tomorrow as they release the revised version. Well, once they release the revised version, then the House Rules Committee will likely be taking that up on Monday, and they're going to start going through it, marking it up, and kind of making sure everything looks good, it's all tidy, and ready for a floor vote right away on Tuesday. Wow, this is coming fast, right? Because if you watched my video from yesterday, I was saying that some of these members of Congress were actually saying that it could be next week, as in this coming week. It could be this next week where we get some final votes. And we could also be out a few weeks. We could be talking December by the time that they actually get this thing passed. So it's actually looking like maybe they're a little bit ahead of schedule, and maybe this is coming a little bit sooner than many people were actually anticipating and recognizing. So, wow, yeah, we could be looking at the final votes on this thing on Tuesday. Now remember, Remember one more thing as well. The infrastructure bill is actually going to be voted in the House and sent over to the president. It's already done in the Senate, okay? It doesn't need to go over there. That one's a done deal once they pass it in the House. But as progressives have said for so many months now, they've said that it will not be voted on, it will not be passed by progressives unless they actually bring the accompanying reconciliation bill at the same time. So that's why they're going to bring both of them in tandem on Tuesday, it looks like. But also, one more thing we want to take into note and take into consideration is that maybe, just maybe, they want to get the infrastructure bill passed on Tuesday, and maybe progressives sign off on the reconciliation bill now that they have the revised version and say, okay, this revised version is good for us, provided we get the support from everybody that we need across Congress to get this thing actually through. We can sign off on it, and we can vote for the infrastructure bill, giving them a little bit of a win going into this next week, and then we can come back and kind of hammer out all the final details on this reconciliation bill and pass it at a later date. Now, maybe that could happen or maybe not, but that's just something that we may want to take into consideration that could happen this week. But one more thing with the reconciliation bill as well. Now, this is going to be voted on in the House first on Tuesday, but it still needs to make its way through the Senate. Now, usually the House of Representatives gets through pretty easily, right? That's not really a big deal. That's not the problem there. They have a slight majority in the House of Representatives, so that's not usually the sticking point. Usually the sticking point is the Senate. The reason for that is they need every single Democratic senator to vote for it. Well, remember, the Senate is evenly split. Sorry, that was embarrassing. The Senate is evenly split. I forgot to add the L in there. Split. Anyway, so the Senate is evenly split, 50-50. 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats. And I can't even concentrate. But anyway, so then they need to get every single Democratic senator to actually vote for this package, right? Well, that's kind of one of the hard parts that they're dealing with right now is because they do not have any margin for error. Zero. They've got to get every single vote from every single Democratic senator. So there's literally no margin for error. And then the vice president would come in and cast the final tie-breaking vote. So that's why the Senate is usually the sticking point. Even the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi can technically lose a couple votes. You know, a couple Democrats could technically vote against it, and it wouldn't be a big deal. It would still pass, no problem. She has a little bit of wiggle room there. Not much, only a couple seats, but just a little bit of wiggle room. That's why the House of Representatives is usually pretty much just like a rubber stamp, right? They just basically get everything done, and it's not really a big deal. It's just literally pull out the rubber stamp, boom, done. Okay, fine. Goes on to the Senate, and the Senate is not a rubber stamp in any sense of the word, simply because of the lack of margin. It's literally 50-50 right down the middle. So that's why the Senate is the next big hurdle. However, as they work their way through this next negotiation phase, we've already known that as of last week, there were some some people in Congress, some lawmakers coming out saying that we could see dozens and dozens and dozens of amendments coming out to these bills as they finally work their way through the final negotiation and the final voting process. So we could still see a number of different amendments hit the table on these things, and these bills, well, technically not the infrastructure, that could still change a little bit, but it's highly likely that it will. The reconciliation bill is the one that we're watching. This one could still go through a number of different amendments and changes before it's actually passed. Even though there's a lot of different things that are in it and not in it right now, that could change in a very, very big way before it's actually passed through the House, through the Senate, and passed on to the president for a signature. So there's still a lot of work ahead of them, even though it sounds like, oh, we could be getting some final votes on Tuesday. Yeah, but trust me, they have a lot of work ahead of them, and this could actually be drug out. They could possibly drag this thing out even further than that, right? It could be several weeks from now still, even though this coming week could look like a very promising week when it comes to the final passing of this. So, like I've said in so many of my videos, literally we have no clue what is going to happen until we are seeing it in real time, because things change very rapidly, right? We've seen so many things change so many different times, so we can't really count on anything until we are literally seeing it happen in real time, or we can look back on it and say, hey, look, that just happened, right? So, anyway, this is the latest update. This just came out a short time ago. I wanted to bring this to you right away and let you know what's going on, but That's what we're hearing as of right now out of these leaders of the Democratic Party, out of the House of Representatives. So, hope you're having a nice day so far. Thanks for your support. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe down below. Share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media, as I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates and as your one and only daily advocate. So again, enjoy your day. Catch you later in the next video. Stay safe until then, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.